So obviously we've seen this right here. We've all seen that when it comes down to it, if the Fever, if they sign one player to a max and it's Kelsey Mitchell, and like if they sign Kelsey Mitchell to a max, they're kind of at the stage where they're a little bit screwed. They're a little bit screwed, if they sign Kelsey Mitchell to a supermax and they keep Caitlin Clark and Leah Boston, which the other obviously doing. But yeah, in this video, we're going to be talking a little bit about should the Indiana Fever trade Kelsey Mitchell? Because for me, this is like a last resort scenario. Now, I don't think it's a last resort. This is not me saying that it should be a want. It should be a thing they should do, because I think Kelsey Mitchell has absolutely earned the opportunity to stick with his franchise for another season at least. But we do have to talk about it because we're now at a stage where if Kelsey Mitchell demands the supermax, because again, there's a difference between the max and the supermax. Like, I think Kelsey Mitchell is absolutely worth the max. The supermax, like, I think the supermax is 100K more. And like that 100K can be the difference between you getting and not keeping a really good role player. That being said, it's an all around different scenario when it comes down to all these. So I wonder if it turns out that that she will take a little bit less than the supermax and just take the regular max, because for me that would pretty much settle it that you keep her. But if she's demanding the supermax and won't go a cent under it, this becomes at least a conversation. So realistically, why you would not keep Kelsey Mitchell? Why you would? She just made an All-W first team. She just made an All-WNBA first team, and that is a massive thing. That is massive. Like, there have been 2 Fever guards since Tamika Catchings to have made an All-W first team, and she's one of them. She's one of them. Like, it is a massive, massive thing. Like, she was one of the best guards in W last year. Some of the things that she did were almost superhuman. Like that game against Connecticut, and she also played till the wheels literally fell off. You will never see a player play harder in a playoff series than Kelsey Mitchell played versus the Las Vegas Aces. That was one of those things where no matter what happens, if you are like Kelsey Mitchell can do whatever the fuck she wants in the city of Indiana for the rest of her life. Like, there is no world in which Kelsey Mitchell is anything other than an Indiana Fever legend after that. Like, that was for me just ridiculous. Another thing is that Caitlin Clark likes playing with her. Caitlin Clark is a big fan of playing with Kelsey Mitchell. Why? Because Kelsey Mitchell is a player who is absolutely elite off the ball when she wants to be. She can be a really big on the ball threat, and she can be a late second shot clock isolation scorer, which every team kind of needs. Problem is that sometimes she kind of overly relies on that isolation scoring, even when it's not late shot clock, shoots those shots too early. And why you will get rid of her? Added depth. Like, it is difficult by the looks of things in the new CBA. I think it'll be a little bit easier with the contract the players actually sign. Like, I don't think the players sign a contract where the current contract, like, I think the salary cap is going to be $7 million minimum. Like, the players want 10, or the league wants 5, the players want 10. It's going to be $7 million minimum. So I do think it's going to be a little bit less tricky to put in a Supermax player. But if you look and you're like, okay, we think we can survive without Kelsey. If it's a choice of like keeping, if you keep Kelsey, you lose both Lexi and Sophie. Or you could do what I actually believe is an almost, not quite a like for like, but let's say you're able to bring in Odyssey Sims. Imagine Odyssey Sims plays on a minimum. I think Odyssey Sims is Kelsey Mitchell light. And she's not as good as Kelsey Mitchell, But like, I think if she went played with Caitlin, she could play the Kelsey Mitchell role. And we also saw in the Atlanta Dream game when the Fever won the second half by like 30 points that Ari McDonald playing Kelsey Mitchell's position beside Caitlin Clark when Ari McDonald played the two. That those two can work really well together. So you do need, like, any sort of a live wire scorer or two guard can fit beside Caitlin Clark. But Kelsey Mitchell is clearly the best of those players. There is a world where Kelsey Mitchell, you can free up Kelsey Mitchell's contract, get it almost like for like, and build for the future. If you don't believe you're going to be the best team in 2026, you have to prep for the future going into 2027, 2028. And Kelsey Mitchell's losing her last core year this year. She's probably losing her last core designation year. And on top of that, she's getting a year older. And Aaliyah Boston comes off the rookie scale deal next year. Caitlin Clark the following year. So you have to prep for that. And if you're not prepping for these players coming off their rookie scale deals, then I think you're just going to be left behind. Like, you have to prep for these players coming off rookie scale deals. And I don't know how many teams and players are prepping for that, but I think it is really important. So you've got that. And I also think you can get a king's ransom for Kelsey Mitchell. Like, if you were to you could potentially, I think with the way the new CBA is, people are saying they could get a Sonia Citron and a pick if they went to and the fourth pick if they went to the Mystics. No, they couldn't. Realistically, for Kelsey Mitchell, I'm just trying to think of what you could get. I think if you sent her to, I'm trying to think of a team, because if you went and get a good asset, and what team might be interested, what team has a really good asset? Like Seattle. So if you want some flexibility, or even still, like, they might core Gabby Williams again. So, like, you could core and trade and eat the contract of Gabby Williams for 1 year, who might be equally as good a fit for this team. And if they core and trade Gabby Williams from Seattle, and you get the third pick on top of that, because Seattle might be going for it. Seattle might think that Kelsey Mitchell is, like, a really good player. If not, like, you're looking at player, I'm trying to think of high picks. Minnesota have the 2 pick. Like, if you go to Minnesota and you're like, okay, we want pick number 2. We want your second. We want pick 2. We want, who do they have really? That's of note. Anastasia Kosu and a 2027 first. I don't know if they still have the 2027 first, but like some pick like that. Like, if you go to Dallas and offer 1 and get 1, like, is a cost-controlled 4 years of AZ FUD, like, is that worth it for the Fever to make? Like, they're the questions you have to think about. And I'm like, I don't think so. Like, my opinion is you keep Kelsey Mitchell, but it's not that straightforward. It's absolutely not that straightforward. Like, for Dallas, they're going to try to throw Enrique in that deal. And it's like, no, you just let Enrique fucking walk. We don't want Enrique. Heck, fuck it. Give us Enrique. Give us Enrique in 1. Give us Enrique in 1. You no longer have the Enrique problem. I can guarantee you that Enrique becomes an all-star again with Caitlin Clark, and we get AZ. Enrique plays the role which she'll probably play the rest of her career as the best 6th woman in the WNBA. You start Caitlin, you start AZ, you may or may not have the salary to keep. You probably have the salary to keep one of Lexi Hull, or so if you can't even, heck, you can probably keep both of them. You might just need a random power forward, and then you find some power forward in free agency. Like, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, who you can maybe find in free agency, and I think you can buy low on Maisha Hines-Allen. I think buying low on Maisha Hines-Allen is not a bad shout. Like, I think if you're the Fever, you can buy low. You can get Maisha Hines-Allen. I think you can buy low on Beck Allen. You can buy low on Maisha Hines-Allen and Beck Allen. I think buying low on those 2 players in free agency, who were, by the way, both, one was a max and one was a near max player last year. Their reputation is in the fucking gutter. I think you can buy low on both of them. And who knows? Maybe they can be smart with something in the draft, and with the 10th pick, if they can keep the 10th pick, you're looking at it and you're like, okay, do we bring in a player that we feel like is going to play right away? Like, do we consider using that 10th pick like a Dugalich? Which is a crazy reach, but I'm like, a power forward who comes right in. Look, I think Janiah Barker is just out of the question because of all the discipline issues. I think you can risk a third on her. A third round pick. I think she might make a roster. She has the talent to. But like, you try look overseas to see what sort of athletic players are able to shoot the ball. And the best that I've seen at that role as a stretch forward, which I think would suit the Fever perfectly, because you can't afford Alana Smith, is, from what I saw, was when I watched Beck Allen at Fenerbahce. What I watched from Fenerbahce is that was that's a player I think you sell low on. So look, it just depends. For me, I'm entertaining offers for Kelsey Mitchell at post core. I'm not doing it, and I think the reality is that like you probably don't make the trade. You realistically don't make the trade. And I think making the trade is still like a last case or a last resort type thing. That being said, it's not a simple thing of, oh, you have to keep her, because I think she's earned another year. The problem is now is the asset situation. Is that Kelsey Mitchell is currently a very valuable trade asset. And I don't think long term she's going to continue to be a very valuable trade asset, because she no longer has core years. She can walk in free agency. Like, if the Fever don't want her, she's just gone for nothing in a year. Whereas right now, the Fever can start to build a squad around Caitlin and Aaliyah. And that is such a tough one, because it all depends on what the Fever's goal is. Is their goal 2026 or bust? Do they fully believe that they have the ability to build long-term around Kelsey Mitchell? And I don't. I don't think this team's good at picking free agents. I don't think this team is good at drafting. I don't think this coach wants to play young players. I don't think anything surrounding Caitlin Clark and Leah Boston is good enough to be a championship contender. But Caitlin Clark and Leah Boston are so good. They are so good that all you have to be is competent. You don't have to be good. Like, you don't have to do what the Valkyries did and see all the value in these players. Get Ileana Rupert, who, by the way, is one of the best young bigs in the league that nobody seems to care about. Like if the Fever had Ileana Rupert, I literally made videos about that. I'm like, the Fever should literally trade their picks for Rupert. And this is way before she came over. I'm like, no, she's big. She shoots the shit out of the ball. She's mobile, and she plays defense. And I'm like, literally was one of the top players around. But sure, look, we'll see. It is what it is.